had the last session in December due to the fact that in January I skipped the release webinar, and today we will have the two releases, both January and February, in one long session. So bear with me. It will be long, but very, very interesting. Very nice functionality in those two releases. So just before that, I would like to start with some kind of discussion or actually a reminder about the new procedures that we introduced in Leganto concerning the enhancement requests. As you probably know, until now, you could create an enhancement request, and it was logged into our systems and then reviewed by us and then commented. Starting 2018, we are changing this methodology to be actually the same as Alma and Primo. And starting from 2018, no enhancement request can be applied through Salesforce. You can either choose one of two ways or both. You can choose to use the ID Exchange, the platform, and everything I said, I'm just mentioning now was sent to you via email a couple of weeks ago. You can add your ID into the ID Exchange platform. Both myself and Miri, the BA, the business analysis of Leganto, are reviewing those enhancement requests or IDs on a weekly basis and reply back when necessary to get more information. And if, of course, decided to have an enhancement to be developed, we will also notify you that in the ID Exchange system. And the second way is, and this is the big thing, Nurse was also available now for Leganto. So Sue Harmer, the product working group, and in general, the product working group will manage that with you, with the one that invited to vote. So we can actually also direct your request into the Nurse system in order for that to be voted and maybe developed at the, later on this year. Okay, so let's start. I have some other things I would like to discuss at the end, but let's start because time is a bit short. The morning session took me a bit over an hour, so I'll try to keep the pace. So in January release, we introduced in Leganto a feature that I'm sure that most of you are very happy with it. This feature will allows you to, after deleting a list, to recover it as an instructor. So in this example, there's a list to be deleted. So I'm doing whatever is required me to do. So I'll delete the list. And after the list was deleted, it was no longer available for me in the My List panel. Wrong. If you'll go and choose the filter recently deleted, you will see and you discover all your deleted lists waiting for you there. And if you wish to recover the list, you can just restore it, and the list will be back in your reading list. I think that the only thing that's changed is that if the list was published, it will be in a draft mode when recovered. Okay, so everything else concerning the list will stay the same. So if the list was deleted by mistake, easy to recover. I personally suffered from that a couple of times. It's very, very tough. So I believe that instructors, or even you, when you accidentally delete your list, can benefit from this feature. This is a development that was done on top of a development done in December that allows you to recover lists in Alma. It was already available in December in Alma. This is only exposed the functionality for the instructors. Let's continue. The next functionality I would like to show is the ability to, in Leganto, to see the reading list instructors. The way we expose it is by show this the instructor on the list. In this case, myself and Tamar, as the instructor associated with the course that is associated to the list. So all the management is done around the course. So for example, in this case, we have those two instructors. I can manage that. If I'll go into the course section in Alma, and the course itself is BB, okay? Just I see the course here. So if I'll edit the course in the instructor tab, I have both instructors, but now I have another parameter associated to it to display the instructor or not. I can choose maybe to hide Tamar because she's just guiding me and she's not in front of the students. So I hide her. And let's see how this will be shown now in Leganto. So I'll refresh the list. And we can see that only myself is now available as an instructor to be seen for the students. Next thing I would like to show is, this is another request came from the customers, is the Creative Commons license on the list. Right now, it's available to be chosen by both instructor and librarians. We got, so you can assign a Creative Commons license to the list, and when you save it, it will be always show at the top, even if I'll go down in the list. Now, there will be an enhancement in this specific functionality requested as a follow-on request, which will allow you to first change the Creative Commons in bulk using the bulk reading list job, and also will allow you to block instructor from being editing to be able to edit the configuration after it was set up. Sometimes you would like to maintain a policy across all the list in the institution, and you don't want instructor to change it according to what they wish to have. This will be what I just mentioned will be available in the May release. Okay, any questions around this few topics I just raised till now? Let's see. Okay, let's continue. Next, I would like to show is the find list. Until now, the find list, you had to enter specific search data in the search area in order to get results. Now, in this release, we can actually choose. You can actually browse the results by choosing any of the facets or filters without the need to add any search criteria, and you get all the results according to the faculty, the course status, and the subjects. Next, I'm sure that you noticed that on the sandbox, but you have available today a discussion chat also on the list level. Sometimes we would like to discuss with students around issues that are not concerning a specific citation. So we allow today also the ability to discuss on the list level, and it's more, in general, it's more visible for students and for the instructors as well. when you turned off the discussion thread for citation, it will also turn off the discussion for on the list. So it's not like you control it per level. It's either disabled or disabled or enabled on the same for both part of discussion on the citation and on the list. Okay, great. Now in January we added a really big chunk that we developed for a long time, which we call it it's under the subject of affordable learning. This is an agenda or initiative that's mostly driven from the Northern American institutions, but also I believe can be suitable for other regions as well. What this development has, as an overview, it will allow you to license material directly with the CCC agency. No, hold on just a second. Hold on. Okay, sorry, it was a technical issue here. So the pay-per-use will allow you to license citation directly with the CCC, the Copyright Clearance Agency in the Northern American region. And after you set up the license, it also allows you to get billed on the license only on transaction created by the students. So let's do a quick overview, because I know part of you are interested to see it, part of you is less, but in any case, I think it is interesting and might be useful for you as well. So if I go and look at in this list, I can see that I have few citations that maybe I don't have a full text availability for them. In this case, I just have the title, but I don't have any availability. Okay, no links or aren't available. And in this case, I have a file, but I need to clear it because I don't have it in my library. There's no related to any library holdings that I have. So if I'll go now, and right now this functionality only available in Alma. So if I'll go now and search the list in Alma, and I'll go walk on the list. And by the way, just a disclaimer, I'm demonstrating this demo on a merge release. So there are few functionality, and I will touch them, that will be available in merge as a sneak peek. So if you see something that you didn't see in February, don't be alerted, it's merge. So I have those two citations available for me. Now I can see that this citation only it has a file, but it's not related to anything in the library, and I cannot just provide it in the bring it to students due to copyright. And also this citation here doesn't have any availability at all. So I can pretty easy click the Find a Pay-per-Use license, which will, through the API, present me a screen that with the results from the CCC of available license for this specific title. So the search can be done according to identifier, in this case the ISBN, or by the title of the title of the reading. It's a book, but it was already found in the identifier. I can see that the license is available and is granted. It means that I can use it. Next step, I can see what price will I pay. Now, the price that I will pay will be concerning one student. But just before that, licenses might have some limitations. So in this case, only maximum of 20 pages are available for this license. So either I cancel this or reject it from the instructor, or can license only 20 pages, and the instructor will be fine with that. So it's a demo, so let's continue. Let's say I got the approval, and I press the get price. The get price will immediately indicate how much money I will pay per page, and what is the total price, including the commission the CCC would like to take me on the transaction, on setting the license. These prices are not real. It's a sandbox, so don't be alerted. And also, what is important is that you can choose from two types of licenses. You can either license this as a funded license, which means that you, as a library institution, will pay for the transactions done by the students. If you choose the non-funded license, it means that students will get the ability to see the material only if they will pay for it, using PayPal, for example. So I'll start with the funded license. I'll do accept and license, and the license was created with the CCC. No money transactions was even created. Only the license was created and is ready now to be serving students. Okay. Now we can see that the license type is CCC, and the copyright status automatically changed to approved in order to indicate it as an indication for you. If you would like to see the license now that is in the system, you can see that the price for the license is presented for this specific license. And in this case, we have 100 students in this course. The total maximum spend for this license could be $550, and also because there are no actual spend, so we're actually now saving $550. Only when students will start downloading the material, you will see, and I'll show it later on in the demo. Okay, now let's license the other citation. I can see that I also have this material, this license, and I will license it as well. Again, no money is being transferred, only license was set up, got ready to be used by the students. Okay, now let's see where is the, okay, this is the item. Important to complete, that's fine. So we finalize the license. We have two licenses with the CCC, and everything is ready for the students. Now, in this case, the first item, we already had the file, so I'll upload the mockup file scan into the second citation just for the demo. So let me add a file. Let's assume it's chapter 2, and save the citation. If I go back to Leganto and refresh the list, you can immediately see that the two licenses were created. We can see that there's a download option. I'm an instructor now, so still this is an instructor view. I can see that I have a download option on the file, but also I can see that in this file, institution will pay $550, and the second citation I created and the second license, student will pay $11.31, okay, when downloading it. Also, you can see that on the right side, there is an extra panel that will show you all the funded and non-funded items on the lists, and also if there are transactions done by students, they will be able to see and view that on real time. Okay, so now the list was published. Let me just log in as student in another window. Hold on a second. just move the window in. So I just logged in as a student, and I'm just entering the specific list that we were just fulfilling. And I can see that the first citation, I have download capabilities. When I click it, I'll have a copyright notice, which is configurable by you. This is just a demo mock-up pop-up. And I got the file available for me. Okay. Now, if I click the other citation, which is indicated as add to cart with the price number, when I click that, on the right side, I can see that I have a cart with one attached to it. If I click it, I can see that I have one item in the cart that will cost me $11.31, and I can go to PayPal and pay for that. I will not do that now. I don't want to go back and refund myself, but in general, you just click it, pay, and you can now download the material to your computer as well as you did with the regular with the item that was on the top that was funded. Any questions until now? If you have, I will be happy to answer. Meanwhile, while you're thinking about your questions, I will go and show one last thing regarding the pay-per-use for this demo. When pay-per-use is enabled in the system, a pay-per-use section is added as well in Alma. When you can view the licenses, view the transactions, you can actually search the CCC database freely and see if there are licenses, and then later on attach it to your citation. And you can have also reports that are relevant for you to see what was the cost and what was the usage on this specific license. By the way, if right now I'll refresh my my Leganto screen, and if I'll go back to my list, I will be able to see transaction being done on the specific item. I don't see it now. I'm sorry. This is of course an SQA test environment with an SQA, so it could be that we have some issues with it. But in general, of course, all the information is being updated along the yeah. Let me just sign out from being a student. For some reason, I was, even though I created just open it for the last time, just for you to see the reports, which are really important. Okay, so first of all, on the list itself, I can see that there was one transaction created, which, one transaction is $550 on the first one. And if I'll go to the pay-per-use reporting section again, I can see that that those are all the transactions that are available in the system, and I can filter them according to the transaction. So, for example, if I would like to see for a specific month or months, for example, for the 1st of December until today, what were the transactions that were done in the system, I can see all the licenses and the attached transaction to it presented to me. And then I can basically see the what to expect in terms of invoices from ex libris to the usage done. in general, the payment methodology behind it means that Exlibris will bill you for the transaction and will pay the CCC accordingly. So you're not paying directly to the CCC in this case. Now let's see if there are any questions regarding the. So there is a question about Creative Commons, which was mentioned before. I will leave it for now. If you have any questions regarding the pay-per-use, please feel free to to ask me now. In any case, if you would like to test this functionality, you need to approach us to enable it to you on your sandbox and in production. Usually, the way it's been done to begin with is that we enable it on a sandbox environment. Means that all transactions that will be done and all licenses will not be real licenses. After you testing the environment, we will move you to the CCC production environment, and then you can start using the system. Okay. So this was only January release. Do you have any question regarding January release, or should I move to the February one? Okay. So February it is. In February, you could see it before, we add the option to add a note into a reading list, as you can see here. The note can be dragged and dropped like any other citation. The way to create a note is by clicking the option and then add a note. Note has a title created, the description, and a URL can be associated with. It's mainly been done for you to be able to split a big section with some notes, or guide your students with a broader, with more space for you to, to express yourself, or the instructors. The notes are visible also in Alma. Automatically, they change state of this note to complete, and basically there's nothing to do with the note in Alma besides just viewing it. There is a question about the note from Sheffield, if it should be under the plus and not under. There was a big debate here. We eventually added into the more common place and less straightforward, because we thought that notes are less of an option to add them from adding a citation. So instead of opening the plus and then then to reselect a note, we just edit, split it into the other menu. By the way, we are doing a redesign for the whole adding mechanism in May release, so it's really good, I can say. So I'll send some updates later on, but it will be, we are definitely will touch the plus and all this area of adding new material to Leganto to be much more user friendly and easy to be used. So this is the note. Another thing we just added is the ability to search according to the DOI in the advanced search. Inside it, we add the option. Just find my cited for this. We add the option to not only add, and then the window will be closed, but to add or add and close. So you can actually have multiple adds for a specific item. So I can add it into this list, and then I can add it to another list one by one, and then I can close the window without the need to reopen the reading list, the cited menu, which just as a flow, it's less intuitive or less useful. We'll allow you to save more time. Let's call it this way. Okay. Also, in the search screen, I don't know if you saw that, but let me just let's, we added a few facets only to allow you to distinguish between books, articles, and audio or video, audio visual or video. Um, Sometimes it's really bulky when you get a mashed up result. If you are interested in an article or a specific book or books, so you can easily just click and you'll get only articles related to red blood, or if you would like to see to add videos. By the way, we added videos because we believe it's something that need to be added to a reading list and not being used as it should. So we would like to direct the audience to use or to find or audio or video material to be added to the reading list. Okay. The next thing I wanted to show is now, yeah, this one. We added the functionality in Alma to have the ability to see if any student mark a citation as broken and as an indication for you to check it. So we added this filter in the task list. So you can filter all the list with broken, potentially broken links. And if you go to the list itself, you can filter by specific citation on the alert as well. In this case, where it is, link reported as broken. And in this case, we have one citation that has a broken link reported as such, and you can quite straightforward check it. If you can see, we have the other with a plus here. I'm mentioning it because you can see it now, but this is in merge release, so this is in the sneak peek for merge release. So all uploaded file, source URL, and link resolver availability will be presented to you here as well, instead of being just without any order placed in the menu. We're gaining two benefits out of that. It's first of all, it's on the main menu, so you can see that you have availability straightforward. Second, if you have multiple availability, it's much easier to see that because you'll have all availability in front of you. You can basically just click and reach and test if the link works or not, if there are problems with it or you don't have problem with it. Okay, any questions? Any other issues that you wanted to ask me about the February list before I'll go and discuss the resource sharing? There's a question, how does a student report a broken link in Leganto? Okay, so in Leganto itself, if enabled, it should be enabled in the settings. You have mark as broken option. When a student clicks that, an alert is being set up on the citation in Alma, and then you can have the task filter for you, so you can actually very fast find those reported citations and try to see if there is an issue there. Okay, let's see what else was before the resource sharing. Okay, before the resource sharing, I just want to close this other sneak peek of merge because the reading list is open. We are introducing in merge a new way to reorder the list. The new way is by mark a citation. Citation is being added into a bag in the right side on the top. You can see that the citation was selected. I can actually select few citations, and then I can just drop them wherever I want in the list. Let's say here. So both citations were moved from the original position into the new position that I just added. This functionality is only the beginning of a set of functionalities that will allow you to reorder and much easier way. Also, this reordering is accessible. It's not a drag and drop. It can be function from the keyboard. And as I said, in May release, we will continue to develop the functionality to even better support your reordering and building the list using the new functionality that will be introduced. Now let's go back into the February release. In February release, we also introduced the resource sharing. So resource sharing, as I mentioned, will allow librarians to initiate resource sharing requests from the citation. Actually, it's quite parallel to purchase requests. Purchase requests, sorry, I wanted to do that. Oops, sorry. Purchase requests, you can trigger it from a citation. So today, from next week actually, you can either have well, okay, somebody was playing with my environment, I believe. So let me just see which user I am. Okay, so let's see how we can add the permission first. Oh, that's great. Okay, this is my luck, I guess. As I said, this is a testing environment, so it could be that there is an issue with the environment. Let me just try to start from scratch. Okay, so let me describe it. I'm sorry about that. It shouldn't happen. I booked this environment for this demo, but obviously there is an issue with the environment. So let's continue in describing the resource sharing. So first of all, you need to add another privilege on the course reserve and operator role to be able to initiate a resource sharing request from Leganto, from Alma the citation. After that, you can set up few default values in the resource sharing, such as the designated user that will, be the request will be initiated on his name. Where the received item will be located, which circulation. There's several parameters that you can configure a default for those. If you don't configure, if there's no default that is configured, it can be selected on the fly while creating the request. And then you can save the request, and the request is now, the resource sharing request will be waiting for the resource sharing manager to send it to the relevant libraries to be fulfilled. After it's been sent, an alert will be also shown on the citation, describing that it was sent to be to the libraries. When the resource sharing material is received and sent back to the reading list for the initiator of the request, another alert will be shown at the citation and will be available for you to see. And then the material can be associated to the citation if it's digitally, or if it's a book, you can locate the book to the citation and place the book into a reserved place to be used by the students. it's complex, and I wish that you'll review it and tested it. And if you have any questions, please approach us. But definitely, think about it as like the purchase request. We providing now the resource sharing request that you will be able to trigger it from Leganto, from Alma. Um, Now, I think that this summarizes the yes, it summarized all the main functionality I wanted to highlight today. And in the fact that I don't have an environment to continue the demo, maybe it leaves the stage if you have any other questions or maybe other feedback from your tests till now that you did on the sandbox regarding the February release. Please now, if you, I'll be happy to answer. Okay, maybe while you're thinking, I'll add some more, nice ideas to your mind. I think that I wanted to say that we are working on several infrastructure enhancement in Leganto. The main one of them is Solar. We take all the reading list information into Solar, so it means that a lot of new functionality will be available for us after it's being developed. So, for example, we can redesign the reading list task list area to have a much easier view with facets and nice immediate information that currently we cannot provide. So, the first, we are finalizing the infrastructure in May, and by I think in June we will introduce part of the functionality with Solar to be available, and then I will update you on that as well. But the goal will be later on to redesign the reading list task list and the citation screen to be much more easy to use. Okay, let's see. I see that there are several questions here. From Sheffield, notes may draw some of the sting from the subsection problem, possibly. Okay, I agree. It would be useful to add more course parameters into the reading list search. And into the job, easier bulk additional of instructors and set of lists academic department. You're talking about the reading list bulk, I believe. I believe you're right. We are enhancing the reading list bulk in each release. If there are anything else that you think that is missing, so definitely we can add. Regarding specific instructors, etc., or not instructor, I'm talking. Probably you are related to a list owner or collaborators. This is a bit more tricky because it's eventually as a job to add collaborator. It's limited only to a few lists. So you can need to run the job a lot of times. So it's quite parallel to do it manually. But nevertheless, we can take those into account. By the way, any one of you is considering to look into the pay-per-use new functionality with the Copyright Clearance Agency? It's something that sounds to you like an interesting functionality that you might adopt, or this is something that only Okay, I see that you said it's not applied to the UK. By the way, why it's not applied? Because if, for example, you don't have a license available for you for the CCC, from the CLA, sorry, and you need to purchase a license, can you purchase the license from anywhere else in the world, or you are limited to purchase it inside the UK? Okay. So you could purchase it, but you're saying the pay-per-use as a methodology might not be applied with regulations, because eventually you are. So we'll take it maybe offline to see how we can maybe adjust it to your needs, if we can. Okay, anything else before we wrapping up the call? Okay. So I would like to thank you for the time. It was a bit long, but hopefully we all learned something today. Feel free to approach me or to discuss with me if there's any other issues that you would like to. And until next release notes, have the rest of the day, your day, as good as the beginning.